Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, this is a video from the chapter where we are understanding the wavelets and multi-resolution processing for the subject digital image processing. As we are covered with the understanding of image pyramids, the first technique in this particular domain, followed by the subband coding, the second technique, let us have a review of Haar transform, the mathematical understanding we covered in the chapter number 3 for image transform with respect to the image interpretation and its corresponding transformation in the corresponding domain. Let us see the details. So here we can begin with our topic, a review of Haar transform. So before understanding what exactly the Haar transform is, you must know how the Haar transform or the wavelet family is different from the Fourier family. So in the Fourier family, one of the member is there that we have abbreviated here, that is STFT. So STFT actually stands for the short time Fourier transform. So this is actually a review. So for short time Fourier transform, if you see, the use of window was there. So here the time and frequency localizations that are made possible with the help of, first of all, the STFT, the approach, and further it has been taken by the wavelet family. So this localization of the time and frequency actually depends on to the size of the window. With respect to the STFT, the window size is fixed, whereas into the wavelets we can say that the window size can be varied. So the window size or simply the wavelet that is having a limited duration, the frequency we can vary. So in this case, if the wide window is there, there is a good frequency localization and poor time localization that can be represented with this particular diagram. On the other hand, if there is a narrow window, we can say there is good time localization but poor frequency localization. So here it is the representation. Now on the wavelet transform side, we can say that the use of window is of variable length. So the example we can take here, that is the narrower windows are more appropriate at the higher frequencies, whereas the wider windows are more appropriate at the lower frequencies. So right from this left side end to that of the right hand side, we have a continuous signal and having the variable frequency portions. So the portion where the frequency is of low type, so a wider window we can put here, and where the frequency is of higher value, so that time we can have a narrow dimension window. So a narrow dimension window in this situation can also get these many number of cycles that this particular window at low frequency region encompasses. So now the question is what exactly the wavelet is, as we have started with this particular domain, the chapter wavelet and multi-resolution analysis. It is a function that waves above and below the x-axis with the following properties. The properties can be given by the varying frequency, the limited duration, the zero average value. This is in contrast to that of the sinusoids used by the Fourier transform, which have infinite duration and a constant frequency. So with the help of these two pictures, you can compare. This is a sinusoid, so this is infinite on left hand side, this is infinite on right hand side also, and it has a constant frequency. But in case of wavelets, see here, the signal has ended on the left hand side, the signal has ended on the right hand side, so it is of limited duration and the frequency is not constant. The frequency here, it is of the low frequency value, here it is the high frequency value, so the frequency is varying in the limited time duration. Now there are several types of wavelets. Out of those types, we can have the visualization of very few. So this is the visualization of the very basic type, that is the Haar. That review we are going to take here in this particular topic. This is the representation of the Morlet type of wavelet. This is the representation of the Dobach's type of wavelet. So this one is also very popular in the family of wavelet transforms. Now the continuous wavelet transform, we had shown you the formulae, right, for the direct transformation and that of the inverse transformation. So for direct transformation, we can also say it is forward CWT, the abbreviation for continuous wavelet transform, computed for capital C as a function of tau and S, computed by 1 upon under root S, the integral over time, f of t, this is the information signal, along with the wavelet function psi, here the conjugate here, and it is a function of t minus tau divided by s here into dt. The inverse one we can obtain f of t here into the time domain, or in our image we can go it for the spatial domain representation obtained by 1 upon under root s, the integrals with respect to the tau and s. Here the c of tau and s, that is the domain representation of the wavelet in continuous type, into the wavelet function psi as a function of t minus tau divided by s into the differentials of tau and s are here. So here the two parameters tau and s we find here. So scaling and translation are actually the things with the help of which the wavelet transformation works here. So in the continuous type, the memory requirement is very high. Very high amount of coefficients can be computed in this particular version of wavelet transformation. We have also seen the comparison of Fourier transform versus the wavelet transform. So here we can show, if the first approach of Fourier transform is there, if this is the signal, the basis functions or the weighted functions of capital F of u into the Fourier domain can be having the representation individually like this. So 1, 2, 3 and so on will be the basis functions, the weights used by the Fourier transform. And the Fourier transform forward representation, here we have the inverse representation. F of x is equal to integral minus infinity to infinity over capital F of u into e to the power j times 2 pi ux into du. If the approach is of wavelet transform for the same kind of signal, the weights are by this type. So here the scaling and translation will be done here. So by the scaling we can have the variation into the frequency. By the translation we can change the position of that particular wavelet here. The inverse computation can be given by f of t. Just now we have seen this particular formulation. So these are the constituent wavelets of different scales and positions for the corresponding signal. Now the Haar transform is our topic. Regarding the Haar transform, we have the information that it is based on a class of orthogonal matrices. Orthogonality is a very important condition for the transformation. Here the elements are either plus 1, minus 1 or 0 multiplied by the powers of under root 2. The Haar transform is computationally efficient transform, as the transform of capital N point vector requires only 2 into bracket capital N minus 1 additions and capital N number of multiplications. Here the Haar scaling and wavelet functions we can denote separately by phi of t and psi of t. Phi of t represents always and always the scaling function, the wavelet function by psi of t. So for Haar case, the scaling function extends from 0 to 1, having the complete amplitude of 1 here, whereas the wavelet function for 0 to 0.5 has the amplitude plus 1, and from 0.5 to 1 has the amplitude minus 1. So this computes details that are of high pass type, and this computes average that are of low pass type. Now we have already gone through the algorithm for determination of the Haar basis functions for different orders. So the algorithm can be discussed by these many points. So it is having a unique decomposition of the integers. The role of k, that is dependent on to the p and q parameters are there. So k can be computed by having the knowledge of p and q like this: 2 to the power p plus q minus 1 will be there. Now the k values can extend from 0 to capital N minus 1. N is the order of the basis function here. Capital N is computed as 2 to the power n. So the p ranging here between n minus 1 to that of the 0. The q is ranging 0, 1 for the p equal to 0, and between 1 to 2 to the power p if p is greater than 0. The examples are given here. The transfer function representation can be here. For this particular condition, it will be 1 upon under root n, and for these conditions, for x as being the variable here, it will be 1 by under root n here into 2 to the power p by 2, or it will be minus if this condition is satisfied, otherwise it will be 0. So this is the representation. The Haar transform, the sample H suffix k of x at m by n, so m extends from 0 to capital N minus 1, is a real and orthogonal type. The transition at each scale p is localized according to q here. So the basis images of the two dimensions are represented here. So the two-dimensional transform is also the separable transform. One-dimensional operation and another one-dimensional operation we can separate out, hence the separability property. The outer product of the two basis vectors we can have, and for the example here 8 by 8 Haar basis images, we have the 64 coefficients here represented by this particular diagram. The differentiation with respect to the grayscale is also denoted. The computed values are also given to us. The first row is having all the coefficient values to be the positive 1. The second row is having the first 4 coefficients 1 and next 4 coefficients minus 1, and somewhere we have 0, somewhere we have under root 2 in positive, under root 2 into negatives also. For the normalization purpose, it has 1 upon under root 8 in multiplication to the basis matrix we have computed. If the example is of having the order n is equal to 4, the p, q and a, k can be given by the table here. K, p and q are here. So based on these two columns, the k values here we have, and for the 4 by 4 transformation matrix can be given by 1 upon under root 4. Here we have 1 1 1 1 in the first row, 1 1 minus 1 minus 1 in the second row, under root 2 in minus 0 0 in the third row, 0 0 under root 2 minus under root 2 in the last row. Similarly, for lowering the order value, that is n is equal to 2, the transformation matrix is again simplified. It is having 1 1 1 minus 1 in the corresponding two rows multiplied by 1 upon under root 2 here. So this can be denoted by capital H suffix 2. Earlier it was capital H suffix 4, and earlier to that for the n value is equal to 8, capital H suffix 8 can also be represented. So the summary is that two major sub operations are there, that is the scaling and that of the translation. So scaling captures the information at different frequencies, whereas the translation captures the information at different locations. This can be represented by the filtering and downsampling also. This is relatively having the property of energy compaction in poor form. So this was the representation for 8 by 8 type. This is the oldest and simplest known orthonormal wavelets. So along with orthogonality, orthonormality is also followed by the transform. The transform representation is very simple. The formulation can be capital T is equal to H into capital F into capital H again, where F is the image of the dimension n by n, capital H is n by n, the same order transformation matrix, the basis matrix you can say. The Haar basis function representation by hk of z, the formulation we have shown, defined over the continuous closed interval between 0 to 1 for the values of k. So these were the formulations to compute k, the conditions with respect to the p, q and the transfer function we have shown you. The Haar wavelet filters can also be possible. So here the filters are having the filter transfer function h0 of n, h1 of n, g0 of n, g1 of n, as we have discussed for the analysis filter bank and that of the synthesis filter bank as well. So here h0 can be having the coefficient values under root 2 by 2, under root 2 by 2, h1 minus under root 2 by 2, under root 2 by 2, then g0 under root 2 by 2, under root 2 by 2, g1 is under root 2 by 2 minus under root 2 by 2. So now let us visualize the figure. Here we have A, B, C and D portions. So A portion, into this particular image you see a discrete wavelet transform using the Haar basis function. Its local histogram variations are shown. So by the sideline we have the local histograms for the regions shown here, and B to D several different approximations have been made for the 64 by 64 dimension, 128 by 128 dimension, 256 by 256 dimension that can be obtained from the part A here. So these are the representations. Now the combination of the key features examined for this particular domain of wavelet and multi-resolution analysis, we actually gone through. First of all, the understanding of pyramids, then the subband coding, And now the Haar transform, this current topic. The decomposition is actually called as the discrete wavelet transform in general, and that particular formulation we shall definitely develop in the topics like the wavelet transform into the one dimension and again into the two dimensions along with the knowledge of fast wavelet transform. With the exception, the image that we have shown, the upper left image, the histograms are very similar with the values close to the zero. The fact is that they may be exploited for the compression purposes. The sub images may be used to reconstruct the coarse and fine resolution approximations. The decomposition was obtained by subband coding into the two-dimensional case. After the generation of the four subbands, the approximation subband was further decomposed into four new subbands using the same filter bank. The procedure was repeated for the new approximations of the subbands. This procedure characterizes the wavelet transform as the sub-images become smaller in size. Although these filter banks coefficients were taken by the Haar transformation matrix, there is a variety of orthonormal filters that may be used. Each sub-image represents a specific band of spatial frequencies in the original image. That is the significance. Many of the sub-images demonstrate directly sensitivity. For example, the sub-image in the upper right corner, you can get back to the earlier slide. In the right corner captures the horizontal age information in the original image. So I hope this topic is understood to you. By the next lecture, the next topic in this chapter that we are going to address is multi-resolution expansions. So if you like the videos, want some information regarding digital image processing subject, you can subscribe to Ekeeda channel. Thank you.